How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day. This is episode 2 of the Info Junkies podcast. I am your host, Steve. This is my co-host, Quan.
What's up? What's up?
We have a great show lined up for y'all. You know the deal. We talk about politics, sports, entertainment, gaming. You name it, we talk about it. All right, so as the thumbnail suggests, Trump's in the news again.
Again.
Shocker.
Again.
He's in the news. Obviously, if anybody pays attention to the NFL, he made some comments that the players and coaches and owners, they didn't like, and it got him in some serious trouble. So I believe what he said was, I don't have it directly in front of me, but he said that anybody who's, the whole Kaepernick protest, anybody who takes a knee, if an owner sees somebody taking a knee, he said, they need to get, his words, they need to get that SOB off the field, and he needs to be fired. Well, that sparked a whole bunch of protests, and everybody, I will say they did blow his comments out of proportion.
Right.
His comments were specific to those who were protesting, but so that incentive inspired the teams to take a knee together, or in the case of the Steelers, they didn't come out during the anthem, or the owners and coaches came out and locked arms with their players.
And that was the whole league was.
Yeah, the whole league. I mean, basically the entire league, all 32 teams did something.
Right.
Like even watching the Skins game, Dan Snyder was down there with his players. And he's typically more in line with Trump. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady, who was a Trump supporter, he supported their protests and said what Brady said.
That surprised me though. I didn't.
Honestly, I have to say, it did surprise me because Tom Brady is a Trump guy. They've been friends for a long time. So the fact that he comes out and supports the protest, to me, signals the seriousness of what Trump said, and hence my opinion. I personally think that this week, all those who have an issue with the Kaepernick take a knee protest, they should get a pass. What Trump said was, divisive. It was. It was a bit aggressive. I personally don't like the fact that these people, insist on taking a knee. It is disrespectful to me that they take a knee during our nation's our national anthem. It does represent a lot to the United States. It does represent a lot to us. It's an American tradition. But what Trump said is it's understandable why people could find, that unifying, and that they could all come together, and protest like that. Because it's kind of like you attack one, you attack all of us. So,
see, but this is why I've been sitting here just listening, because, again, and maybe the SOB part was probably out of line a little bit, but you got to know it's Trump, so just take the meat with the bones. The point of what he's trying to say is that it's wrong for people to disrespect the flag. That's the meat. That's the meat of what he's trying to say. Of course, the message got twisted around, and people took it and ran with it. I get all that. They said the SOB part was out of line. You're the president. You got to set a better example than that. That's terrible. But am I upset? Not really, because I understand where he's coming from. But I think most people, just because it's Trump, they take something that he says and just blow it up to a way bigger proportion than what it is. Because he's not offending every player in the NFL. He's offending those players that doesn't respect the flag enough to put their hand on their heart. Those are the people that he's targeting. But yeah, everybody in the league wants to sit up here and say that, well, he's offending everybody, when he really didn't do that.
He's not offending everybody, but you also got to understand. It's kind of like, okay, like for me, I have 5 siblings. And when we attack each other, like, we'll get on each other, we'll fight each other, we do whatever. But when you attack one of us, you attack all of us. It's kind of like that. I mean, no, yes, what he said was taken out of context. I mean, you read what he said. He clearly wasn't talking about everybody in the league.
Only those players that were.
However,
disrespecting the flag.
You go after like your teammate. Once again, it's like if you're in. It's not the same thing, but if you're in a military unit, the guys in your unit are like family. So if you attack, if something happens to one of the unit members, it affects everybody else in the unit. Like, there's a statistic where if one unit member commits suicide, it's likely that other members in the unit will also commit suicide. That's how close they are. That's the effect. So, no, I don't think you should blow what he said out of proportion. But he also has to understand that what you say, people are going to take what you say out of context. People are going to.
Right, I agree. It was stupid.
So why would you give ammunition to your critics? Where now, okay, let's break it down to two different sides. Okay, you have to take the knee side and stand up side.
Right.
So if you're on the stand up side and your whole goal is we want you guys who are taking the knee, we want you guys to stop. We want you to stand up, hand over your heart, join in with us.
Mm-hmm.
The way you need to do that is to make people join your side. Make people understand what you're saying. Don't give traction to the other side. And when you make stupid comments like the one he just said, like the one he made, you clearly gave all kind of traction to the other side.
Yeah.
So I mean, your whole argument now is more difficult for the country to accept when you've made the other side look like the victims. I mean, you look in this country, the victim mentality is just flowing through this country. I mean, everybody's a victim. Women are victim, blacks are victim, Hispanics are victims, gays are victims, transgenders are victims. Whatever you want to, they're all victims. Everybody wants to be a victim. Everybody wants to be a part of that victim class.
But why not just take it? Okay, like again, you take the meat of what he's saying. If I'm a player in the NFL right now and I hear that speech, if I know that I put my hand over my heart every time the anthem is presented, why am I offended? Because I wouldn't be offended. It doesn't pertain to me.
But there's a narrative. See, we're not under the pressure of you're on a team. We're just guys walking out through. We're not on that. We don't have that pressure of, look, we are a team, and what you do affects the team. So, see, for you and I, it's a simple, hey, he's not talking to me, so don't care about it. But you've got.
But this is football.
Yeah, but once
they bring politics into football.
Well,
it should be just about football. It's the anthem. Of course, it's like an element of politics into it, like a very small piece of politics. But I mean, just keep it about football.
I mean, it's a little politics. I mean, the anthem is more so of a national tradition. More of our heritage than it is, about politics. But yeah, I mean, you are a little bit. You are kind of injecting politics into the game, which is why, if you ask me personally, what Pittsburgh did, I think all teams should do that. I mean, nobody just be in the locker room. When the national anthem's played, let it just be for the fans watching.
Right.
Keep the people out of the game, and when the anthem's over, bring them in. That's how it used to be.
But I find it interesting that one of the players, I think he was like on the O-line.
Villanueva.
Right. And he served 3 tours in Afghanistan, and he
was Army Ranger.
He came out doing the national anthem while the whole team was still in the locker room, and put his hands over his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And most people kind of, because the Steelers agreed prior to the game to everybody just stay in the locker room.
Right.
We're going to stay away from the politics and everything. They just worry about football, and that's what Mike Tomlin said, during the interview. But yeah, he still came out, and people was kind of giving him flack that, hey, you should have just.
Well, Mike Tomlin gave him flack.
Yeah, but again, this is coming from a guy that served 3 tours.
Yeah.
That from his side of it, that would be completely disrespecting what he served the military. He went to the military to serve the country. You know what I'm saying? So from his side of it, it's like totally different. But yet they're giving him flack as if he served 3 tours.
Yeah, and
he has every right.
And once again, this is why I go back to President Trump has to be more careful what he's saying.
I agree.
Because
he does.
I'm not. You can't blame Trump for them attacking Villanueva. You can't blame them, but you do. You do set up a an arena where he can be attacked now. You kind of make him a target because people know he's an Army Ranger. He's going to be patriotic. I mean, come on. He
That's
fought.
given. That's
he
given
fought
him.
and maybe
Yep.
shed some blood fighting over in Afghanistan.
Same things that we haven't seen.
Right. So he's going to be patriotic. He loves the country enough to serve and fight, possibly lose his life for it.
Right.
So you kind of set him up for failure there because you now have made him a target.
And if there are other players in the NFL
exposed
that
him.
serve, maybe like they're in the same situation as he is,
Right.
and they have served or had done type of military in any capacity. You put them in the same situation, basically,
Right.
where they have to choose.
Yeah, I mean, and that's my problem with what he did. It's just like, look, you could have come out and say, hey, look, man, this is an American tradition. Please just, I understand. Yes, I understand your First Amendment rights. I understand. Hey, you have a problem with the country. You may have a complaint about something you think is wrong, and we can all agree that, hey, we want our country to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But why don't we all come together? Don't take a knee come together in this American tradition. And see, by coming together, then those of us on the opposing side are more willing to look at what you're saying. But if you desecrate our traditions, well, we're less likely to even look at what you're saying because you're desecrating our traditions. You're not respecting our traditions.
So, quick question: how does the NFL move on now? Considering not even so much, because what Trump said and everything like that. How did the league move on? Because this is going to be a constant issue.
It is. Once again, here's what I would do if I'm Goodell. If I'm Roger Goodell, I encourage teams. Look, change the rule book. When the anthem's played, the teams are in the locker rooms. No more of this. You gotta
remove the politics from football.
And that's the thing. You gotta take it out. Look. They've already politicized this issue. I know there was somebody who was saying to me, well, hey, this isn't supposed to be a political issue. This is supposed to be an American thing. It's like, look, they've already politicized it.
Yeah, it's too late
so
for that.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing of it not being politicized. It's a thing of, look, it's already politicized. So how do we fix it? Well, the way you fix it is you encourage the teams. Look, no more no more. Guys aren't even going to be out there during the anthem.
Everybody go in the locker room.
No political stuff on your jersey, your helmet, nothing of that. No political socks. No, I remember last year, Deshaun Jackson had the police caution tape wrapped around. Mm-hmm. None of that. No politics. Make it about the game. Take the politics out of the game.
And that's become more the focal point than just football.
Right, and that's the problem. See, which is why one of the reasons, and we can get into this another time, why Kaepernick doesn't have a job right now. Is because in most people's eyes, Kaepernick is not a starting quarterback. Is he the worst thing that's out there? No.
He's he's an excellent backup.
Yeah,
you look at other quarterbacks in the league that are way
right. But here's the thing: if you're a backup, you can't make more noise than the starter. Like for instance, on the Redskins, does Colt McCoy make more noise than Kirk Cousins? No. Everybody everything. It's about Kirk Cousins.
In the roster is a 53-man roster, and you're gonna sit there and tell me that all the backup quarterbacks in this league, that Colin Kaepernick isn't qualified? He's more than qualified to be on. I'm not saying he's not qualified.
I'm just saying
he has a right to have a job right now. There's no reason.
Well, it's not. To me, it's not a right or not a right. It's whether or not somebody wants to hire him or not hire him.
So he should be hired.
I mean, but once again,
look at his resume.
But see, here's the thing. It's a private industry. It's a private business. You can't force them to hire him.
In the sense,
and here's the thing: if you hire him,
but it's not based on the football though. It's based on his political beliefs.
Well, it's sort of both because his football skills deteriorated, and then you add in while his football skills are deteriorating, you're making it about politics. So now you're taking it's almost like.
So if it was a scale, the politics side and then football. I believe that the politics side outweighs.
It does. No, the politics outweighs it completely.
And it's clouding their judgment about, okay, is this person going to benefit my football team? And you look at the backup quarterbacks, he's way better than half the backup quarterbacks.
I would give him that. He would make a good addition to somebody's team. I'm not saying he doesn't have the skills anymore. I'm just saying you can't allow someone who's not starter material to, it's almost like, when the receiver Chad Johnson, when he was on the Bengals, and when he was had doing all his Chad Johnson stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when his skills were, you know, great, nobody cared about the Chad Johnson stuff. But as his skills started to deteriorate, and he still was doing all the Chad Johnson stuff, it's like, okay, you're trying to remain relevant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, same thing with T.O. Same thing with insert person here where it's, you know, hey, you have all these antics, you have all these things about you,
Mm-hmm.
but we'll put up with that as long as the skill's there. You know, you can even go back to Muhammad Ali. People didn't care about, most people didn't, I mean, yes, people complained, but his fans, most of the fans of boxing didn't really care about all the stuff he was doing because he's a great boxer.
So basically saying Colin Kaepernick, his skills has went down, obviously.
Right.
So therefore, people aren't looking at him at the same.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, following his logic, okay, if you're saying that police are, you know, you're protesting police brutality and all that. 2012, when you went to the Super Bowl, you know, you weren't taking a knee then. As a matter of fact, when the anthem was playing, you were crying. You know, because the moment, you know, come on, you're in the Super Bowl, the anthem's playing, you're feeling that great football feeling, great American football feeling. Okay, 2013, you didn't take a knee. 2014, you don't take a knee.
Mm-hmm.
2015, same thing. All of a sudden, 2016,
All of a sudden, yeah, he wants to try.
When you're a third string quarterback, Chip Kelly comes in and it looks like you might get fired. All of a sudden, you take a knee.
I mean, I think
See, now it makes it seem like you're trying to save your job instead of you truly care. Once again, I mean, since they compare him to Muhammad Ali, I'll compare him to Muhammad Ali. When Muhammad Ali did what he did about, you know, not going in the draft, opposing because of his religious objections, Muhammad Ali was in the prime of his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was at the greatest. Those would have been his best boxing years. So you can't really say, oh, I'm just trying to make this about myself. No, he had a particular belief that he had, and he was going to stick to it. If Muhammad Ali was at his lowest at the end when he fought Larry Holmes and lost, and all of a sudden, no, the government's, you know, you start making it about politics. Well, see, now it just seems like I'm trying to stay relevant as I'm fading away.
So real quick, I know, you know, just to make a side note, Colin Kaepernick, you feel like 50, you know, like I said, there's a 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that he should or should not be on the roster right now?
Oh, I think if a team wants him, he should play. I think he's skilled. I think he has the skill to continue to play.
Again, I get the politics side of it. I get, you know, his skills have diminished side of it as well. But you cannot believe,
but they haven't diminished to the point where he doesn't have any skill. He clearly had skill when he was there. I mean, come on, last year he was one of the
look at quarterbacks now.
Fantasy point.
Yeah, he was. I look at the guy. Like I said, I look at guys now. The talent is nowhere near Collins right now.
No,
even though
I mean, look at who the San Fran starting. I mean, you got what, Hoyer. I mean, come on now.
Kaepernick is better than that.
Kaepernick
Way
is better than him.
But again, I think politics have just surrounded football so great.
And see, unfortunately for him, anywhere he goes now, a team doesn't want to touch him because their viewership's going to drop. Because most of the people that pay attention
Forget
to
the
this
viewers.
game,
It's about football. Is he going to benefit my team? Yes or no? If it's yes, I want that guy on my team.
But you're only.
It shouldn't be about viewers, and I know. Unfortunately, you know that's part of the equation.
Without the viewers, you don't have football. I mean, it just doesn't happen.
I mean, if my fan base hate me, but we're winning games or we're moving in the right direction, that's if I'm a head coach.
But I mean, if he's a backup, he's not helping you.
But again, I feel like he should be a starter. I mean, look at the starter quarterbacks. It's certain temes. There are certain
teams where he could qualify. He could start. But to me, he's a backup. But even whether he's a backup, third string, practice squad, starter, injury list, wherever he is, if he's on a team, you're not going to watch that team. I mean, look at San Fran's ratings. Last year, they dropped significantly.
I feel like it might be the opposite. Maybe because Colin, he's been in the news this whole time. Hey, maybe
his following has gotten bigger, but San Fran's ratings, as far as their viewership ratings, the fanship,
right?
You know, people buying the jerseys, it dropped.
So real quick, to get politics out of football, your answer is to just
To
eliminate
get politics out of
the
football,
anthem. All the players just go in the locker room.
separate people standing for the anthem and the anthem itself. Play the anthem like it used to be in the old days. Just play the anthem and then bring the players out. Eliminate all the no political expression in football, no religious. I won't say no, but it make it completely about the game. Don't bring all the extra stuff in it. Make it about the game. If the fans want to listen to the anthem, the fans can listen to whatever they want.
Right.
But the players themselves follow Pittsburgh's lead. Keep them out while the anthem's being played, and then after the anthem's played, bring them in. Make it about football again.
Well
Make
said.
football great again.
I like that. Make football great again. I like that. Well said. Like, again, the moment they started taking politics out of football, better the game is going to get.
Absolutely.
Right
and
now,
more viewers, more people are going to. And football is the greatest sport ever made. I mean, it is the greatest sport. No sport brings the attention that football has. It doesn't have no sport has the camaraderie that football has. No sport is equal to American football. None. Just look at the best games. Football outweighs them all. Get politics out of the game and put it back where it belongs. It should be about the game, bringing us all together on the game.
Well said.